Hello everyone and welcome back to Brotato. I am Duke Silver and today we are going to be showcasing the Ranger class for this Danger 5 run. So the Ranger class starts with plus 50 range. You start with a pistol. Your range damage modifications are increased by 50%. So that's your flat sort of range damage scaling. You cannot equip melee weapons, and max HP modifications are reduced by 25%. So it's a little bit harder to like get tanky with this class, but dealing massive amounts of range damage is generally pretty easy. And yeah, for this run we are going to be choosing a random weapon, and of course we'll be doing Danger 5. So here we go. And you'll notice the starting weapon is different, as I did record these two sections of footage at different times. So this we started with the laser gun and not the SMG. Laser gun has a very slow rate of fire, but very high damage and good piercing. Yeah, basically we're just gonna take all the guns we can early. We just want to fill up our slots, just get as strong as possible right away, and then we kind of figure out what we're gonna focus on in a little bit as things sort of come together. Generally, like when I'm playing, I kind of try to have a plan going in, but for a character that's like this straightforward, like the Ranger, I generally try to just, I guess, kind of wing it and kind of go with what shows up in the shops. Like since we're not specifically going for specialization kind of build here. But yeah, we got a couple shotguns, which I mean, shotguns are very, very good. So I think we've got an early indication that we can build into those with a few in the shop. Just checking what the scaling is on the shotgun. Seeing if range does anything for the shotgun. I don't think it does necessarily. I mean, the shotgun does have lower range than other range weapons, so it's like a lot better up close, as it shoots multiple projectiles in sort of a short burst. So it kind of benefits from the same builds as high rate of fire weapons. So I really like complementing shotguns with a high rate of fire weapon, like SMGs or minigun potentially, if we're lucky enough to see one. Yeah, so we want to be stacking up flat range damage, as that's just going to increase the overall damage of each projectile, and percentage damage when your base damage is pretty low just isn't all that effective. And we're going to lock a pumpkin there, which is going to add some extra damage for projectiles that pierce. And I believe the shotgun's piercing is like 50% damage. So once the projectile goes through the first enemy, it'll hit another one and do 50% less damage. So the pumpkin will increase that damage. Take a hit there and almost drop down, but managed to get some health and survive. We're doing decent damage here. We got decent clear. Left a few materials on the ground there, but not too many, fortunately. And we got our full suite of shotguns now. So we will want to invest in a little bit of luck at some point, again, just to try and find a minigun, which is gonna complement the shotguns very, very nicely, as the shotguns obviously spray in like a wide area, and miniguns kind of give you a focus, so you can focus enemies down a little bit better for like the bigger enemies. Also, of course, minigun is just very powerful, and if you can build into it, it's nice to take. A couple of items that we're not really interested in. Yeah, it's between armor and luck here. We do take the luck again. We want to find a minigun if we can, in relatively short order. There's a flamethrower. We're going to take a triangle of power, which does drop your damage by 2%. It gives you plus 20% damage, but drops your damage by 2% every time you get hit. But I mean, we're not interested in getting hit at all anyways, but we do take a hit early there. Pretty big one, but we're able to come back and start regenerating our health back. Take another big hit, which is a little unfortunate. Those are not the hits you want to be taking from those large enemies. But yeah, you have to get hit 10 times for Triangle of Power to start affecting you negatively, so I think it's especially on Ranger, it's a very, very good pickup. But again, we need to find flat damage for that percentage damage to really get potent. So we will be looking out for flat damage. And we'll take an early recycling machine. It's very good for economy. As like, I mean, every item you get from a crate that you skip is just extra money. We probably won't be recycling any more weapons, but yeah. Again, if we invest in luck, then we should be able to find relatively decent amount of crates. And you can see how, again, wave 8 is like a damage test wave, is the way I like to view it, because there's all these large enemies. There's a higher quantity of large enemies spawn, so if you're able to take them down and not get swarmed in this wave, then your damage is pretty good. I'd say our damage is pretty solid. We handled that wave with relative ease. There's like an argument for taking rocket launcher there. Rocket launcher does scale with range damage, and obviously it affects things in an area. It's a little better when you are building into explosives, but it's still just a very, very solid ranged weapon. That is one that benefits more from percentage damage than the flat damage, as it does a big chunk of damage in an area. So percentage damage will increase that a little faster than flat damage would. And again, these shotguns are very good for wave clear, so this horde wave is definitely not a problem for us. We're able to keep the middle clear and collect our materials, which is always a good sign. Nice chunk of flat damage there on the level up, and there's the minigun on wave 10 here. So that's fantastic. We still haven't upgraded all our shotguns, which is a little unfortunate, but there we find another shotgun. Just as I say that. So now we've got at least one level 3 shotgun. But yeah, this minigun again is gonna be a huge power spike for us. It's very, very potent against larger enemies, as it focuses them down pretty quick. Yeah, again, our wave clear, very good, as I'll just keep reiterating, so I have something to say. There's not like a lot to say. Like, I mean, obviously each wave is like relatively the same. I mean, you're just shooting down enemies. It's mostly the shops that are worth kind of remarking on. We take a harvesting crown there. It's a little bit late on wave 11, but it's going to give us some econ for the next 9 waves anyways. And that's going to give us 8% harvesting every single wave. Alright, we upgrade some of our shotguns, so yeah, we got a decent damage boost, and yeah, as these mummy enemies have a huge health pool and a lot of defense, so the fact that we're able to kind of shoot them down so quickly, just a testament to how much damage we're doing, which is great. The real damage test will be if we can take out an elite, I suppose, though. I mean, I guess you can have as much damage as you want and still not be able to take out elites, which is a little unfortunate. I mean, you have to have good wave clear and good damage to take out elites, which is can be a little frustrating, because you know that you're doing enough damage, but the other enemies are just swarming you too hard and you can't focus. All right, between range damage and armor here, we do take the range damage, although I don't mind taking armor. Again, we're gonna take hits eventually. We don't want to take too many, but it is gonna happen, so I figure being able to survive a hit is probably good to be able to continue the run. All right, now we've got 4 level 3 shotguns, which is fantastic. We went from having only a few upgraded around wave 9 to on wave 12 4 level 4s, so we're getting close to tier 4s. Or sorry, level 3s. So we're getting close to tier 4s. And that's going to do a decent amount of damage. I mean, you can tell that we're doing a great amount of damage just by how much we're able to move around the map here. It just shows that we're able to clear these enemies out with the relative ease. We are having a hard time getting to these materials, so we're gonna have to dive in at the end to get there. We will take armor there. We're up to 7 armor, which is not bad. I mean, it could be better. Looking at leather vest, which is going to give us armor and dodge at the cost of 3 max HP. We don't have a ton of max HP, but also max HP modifications are reduced by 25%, and that does include negatives. So we lose I think around 2 HP there for pretty decent defensive stats. We don't really have a ton of dodge, and like little amounts of dodge don't really do anything. But I mean it's kind of incidental. We mostly just wanted the armor there, and having incidental dodge chance is fine as well. It can save you in a pinch sometimes, but it doesn't really represent a lot of health saved. All right, now you can see our damage is maybe falling off a little bit. We're having a little bit of a hard time getting into the middle here. And there's a wolf helmet, which we could recycle for 118 thanks to our recycling machine, but we decided to go for it just for the luck, which I'm not entirely sure that's necessarily the right play there. As again, 118 materials could go a long way to making us stronger, whereas our luck is basically just going to be used to hopefully find another minigun, basically. Take the scope because it's range damage, and we're going to lock this ugly tooth, which is going to steal 10% speed from whatever we hit. We take a big hit against the this elite immediately, which is very unfortunate, which means it kind of puts us in survival mode. But fortunately, with the ranger, we've got good wave clear, so we're able to keep doing damage even while in survival mode and just trying to dodge and weave. And we take another hit there, dropping super low. Really unfortunate. We got decent damage. We're doing decent damage to the elite, and it does trap us in the corner, but we were able to focus it down, and then we get back to full HP. And we get our red crate, which is going to be a legendary item, which is fantastic, and it's going to be heavy bullets, which is going to be very good for us. It's going to give us some flat range damage, some percentage damage, and a bit of range, which is nice. We will lock this vigilante ring. It's a little bit late on wave because we won't be able to get it to wave 16, but it's going to give us 3% damage every single wave. So I mean, I guess it works out to like, what is it, like 12% extra attack by the time the game's over. Which, I mean, yeah, I don't know, that maybe that's not even worth it. That's a pretty big investment, so it's possible that it's just not even worth taking at this point. But I mean, I don't know. It's hard to resist Vigilante Ring for me in general. I just think it's a very, very good item. All right, you can see I think our damage has leveled up a bit. We're clearing enemies out and being able to maneuver around the center of the map, which is fantastic. Got to re-roll that. These stats are not exciting. We'll take the 1 armor there. We do take the Vigilante Ring. And we're going to take a Gentle Alien just because our wave clear is so good. I mean, adding more enemies means more materials for us. It also gives us a little bit of HP as well as some percentage damage. We'll take some flat damage with the magazine there. And we find another minigun, which we are going to lock. And I think it's better to have 2 miniguns and then the 4 shotguns rather than just combine into a tier 4 minigun. I think having tier 3 miniguns is going to be a little bit more effective, especially against like elites and whatnot. Again, you can see our damage is very good still. We're taking out these large armored enemies like before they can even get to us, and we're keeping the field just like very, very clear, which is very, very nice. Means we're going to be able to pick up these materials at the end, at least most of them. Alright, so we'll combine into a tier 4 shotgun, and then we'll get our second minigun, and then we can combine into another tier 4 shotgun and get a base shotgun to replace it. Replace our empty weapon slot, and that's going to increase our damage by a lot. We upgraded 2 of our shotguns to tier 4 and have a second minigun now, so yeah, you're going to see our damage kind of pop off here. As you can see, I can kind of move completely freely around this map now. Basically nothing can even get close to me. And yeah, we handle that wave with relative ease, even with 5% extra enemies. I was just checking to see if I had another boxing glove, because I don't think I need a second one. I think our knockback is decent. I figured if we didn't have one, we would pick one up, though. This is not a hunting trophy build, unfortunately. There's a level 4 shotgun just in the shop, which is nice. So we're going to be able to recycle our base shotgun for it next turn. Alright, and we get a second elite fight now, and this elite is much easier than the last one, at least in my experience, just because, I mean, the movement is super predictable, and I find it a lot easier to kind of dodge in and around. Although you do have to focus on dodging, and you're generally dodging into other enemies, so if your wave clear isn't good, then this one can be very dangerous. But our wave clear is excellent, and yeah, we take down the elite. So we get another red crate, which is fantastic. Really good sign when we can take out both elites. We'll take an explosive turret. It's not going to deal too much damage, but I think it's worth having just to kind of soften things up around the map. Although, I mean, again, it's possible that the materials were just worth more. It's a little bit hard to tell the value of a turret. I mean, the healing. I think healing turrets are very valuable even without engineering, but how much damage regular turrets do is, I think, a little bit more ambiguous. But I mean, it's I mean, when I get them offered for free, if I don't have like a bunch of negative engineering, then oftentimes I'll take them, and just they're kind of another source of damage. They're a constant source of damage, right? So like I'm sure it does add up. I'm not sure that there's a way to tell like just how much damage they do during the run, but all right, we found another minigun, and we're gonna combine this one into a level 4 minigun. So now we have a level 4 and a 3, and there's a triangle of power. Unfortunately, this is the last wave, so we can't lock for it, but I would love to have another triangle of power. It would just increase our flat damage by a lot, and at this point, that's going to be very, very potent. We take a big hit early, so that's a little bit concerning, but again, because of our range, we're able to deal decent damage while also dodging at the same time. So very we just have to kind of focus on dodging and allow whatever bullets go towards the elites and go. And yeah, we take out one of the first boss relatively quickly, which is fantastic. And this boss is a bit of a breeze, as basically it's just going to be shooting circles around me, and as long as I don't move, then it doesn't really hit me. So there we have it. Danger 5 cleared with the Ranger. We get night vision goggles as an unlock that was my first run beat with the Ranger. I have since started going through and doing Danger 0 runs on each of the characters, just to get the unlocks and get more items in the pool. Just because, like, in general, when you unlock something with a character, it's an item that character would like to use. So I figure having that in the pool might make the Danger 5 runs a little more interesting. But yeah, if you enjoyed this, please leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. I really appreciate it, and it really helps the channel. We're closing in on 500 subscribers, and once we get there, I will have a community tab to be able to communicate more effectively, which would be very nice. I can run polls and stuff. But yeah, I think that's everything for today. I've been really enjoying this Brotato content. I hope you've been enjoying it along with me, and yeah, with all that being said, I hope y'all have a great rest of your day, and I will see you tomorrow.